Hello YouTube, Boneless here. While we're waiting for the Silksong expansion to come out, I thought it would be interesting to just go back and revisit this game, Hollow Knight. So I did that, and then I managed to complete the very last challenge of the game, to complete the Pantheon of Hallownest. That's really difficult. Steam tells me that only 1 or 2% of Hollow Knight players complete this challenge, and it makes sense because basically you have to fight every single boss of the game. So if you die once, you're completely out, and you have to do it all over again. So it's a very difficult challenge. So I thought I would make like a sort of a guide of how I did it. Because I'm also using some pretty weird charms and stuff, so I'll get back to that. So this video is for you who is trying to beat this challenge just like I was, or maybe you're just here wondering what the fuck, Boneless is back after 4 years, what is happening? And why is this not a Dota video? And that also makes sense if you have these questions. I'm gonna talk about that more at the end of the video. But right now I want to get back to Hollow Knight. So here, as you can see, I'm showing you where you can actually train. I highly recommend that you train against these bosses before you actually attempt the Pantheon of the Hallownest. All these bosses will get unlocked when you complete the various bosses. So once you get to the Radiance, all of the bosses will be unlocked, so you can train against them. So this is the first piece of advice I'll give you before you start. The second piece of advice is this door here. On my game it's locked because I didn't actually put in the time to unlock all of these things. You have to unlock 8. There's actually a video of a guy who did this. So the door that I just showed you can be unlocked if you complete at least 8 bindings in any of the Pantheons. And what that does, so basically you have to complete the lesser Pantheons with some bindings, some restrictions to your nail or your soul or something. And when you do that, you earn more points on that door. And when you have 8 of these, you can open the door, and that gives you this advantage. So when you actually in between fights wants to heal, you get these blue insect things, which gives you more masks when you're doing the Pantheon. So that's very useful. I think he explains it here how much it gives, like this. So he gets 5 extra masks. Obviously that's a huge advantage when you are doing this. So shout out, by the way, to this someone guy whose video I politely borrowed for this. But yeah, let's get back to the actual gameplay. The third piece of advice I would give before you do this is don't save Soti. Soti is the little annoying bug that you complete or you save from the big bird at the start of the main story. And if you actually save Soti and complete the entire game and come here to Godhome and attempt the Pantheon of Hallownest, then you have to fight Soti in his it's not his final form, but it's a difficult version of Soti that you have to fight. So if you don't save Soti, then you actually don't have to fight him in the Pantheon. So instead of like 41 bosses, you only have to fight 40 bosses. So obviously that's a huge deal, especially considering that Soti is very difficult boss to fight. But anyway, before we get started, let me talk about the charms real quick. So I use Sprint Master, and then I use Group Zone, and Unbreakable Strength, Quick Slash, Long Nail, and Nail Master's Glory. I think definitely Unbreakable Strength and Quick Slash, those two are absolutely mandatory. I would never do a Pantheon without these two. The reason being that there's so many bosses you have to get through. So just having all that damage from your nail is just absolutely key. You have to have these two charms. The rest is up for grasp. I think it's really, it helps you a lot if you have one of the range charms, so either long nail or the mantis thing. I'm using long nail because then I have 3 notches left, which I'm using for some of these smaller charms. So I'm using Nailmaster's Glory, Group Song, Sprint Master, and the reason is Group Song is absolutely insane because I'm not very good at this game, so I tank a lot. Nailmaster's Glory is also good for me because I'm not good at the game. The reason being that Nailmaster's Glory actually helps me in these levels that's about platforming, because then it's easier to just deal a lot of damage to the boss at once without really having to commit or do a lot of skill intensive platforming, which I'm not very good at. And then Sprint Masters just because I had an extra slot left. I think some people would say that the Shaman Stone, the spell thingy, is very important. I mean, it's good. It depends on your playstyle, I would say. If you're doing the spell thingy, then it's 3 notches to use that charm. So that means you would either have to do the Shaman Stone, or what I'm doing, which is Nailmaster's Glory, Group Song, and Sprint Master. And when you put it like that, then I just definitely prefer the Sprint Master and the Nailmaster's Glory and Group Song. So the first boss here, I'm a little bit behind. And also I'm griefing myself with my webcam, I just noticed. But basically I'm just going to the top corner, left or right, doesn't matter. And then I'm poking down on top of the bird. And you can remember when you poke down, I also do it here in the second boss. Every time you poke down on top of a boss, it refreshes your ability to double jump. So that means, especially when you're using charms like Quick Slash, it means you could just get on top of bosses and poke down all the time. And that's really the easiest way to do the first boss against the bird. This guy, the False Knight. The only thing I wanna, it's the second one, it's a bit harder, but the first one here obviously is very easy. So the only thing I will say is that you can use your Dream Nail to actually hit the armor even after his death. You can use a Dream Nail to just charge up and get all the soul. So it's a little bit of useful information. This excuse me, this massive moss charger, yeah, the only thing to say about this guy is just wait until he charges you and then hit him with your nail. Just do it like this, bam, 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 bam. Very useful to have the long nail or the manta thingy, and to have Quick Slash, because then it makes this boss a lot easier. And you'll see, like, when I'm fighting all the early bosses, also Hornet, I'm just going full aggro, doing as much damage as I can. The reason being that, I mean, you have to get through 40 bosses, and they get harder and harder. So even though you might not say this is easy, it's definitely the easier boss. So the first bosses, which are, yeah, let's just say they're easy. it's you have to just get through them as quickly as possible if you want to complete this challenge. The only thing I want to say about Hornet is when she gets put into hit recovery mode, like when she's catching her breath, then she's always going to jump afterwards. So that means that you can hit her a couple of times when she's resting or catching her breath, and then afterwards you can just jump up and hit her while she's in the air. I saw some speedrunners do this, and it's very useful. The Hornet fight is actually pretty easy once you just realize how aggressive you can actually be with her. So this guy, again, this is platforming. It's not what I'm good at. So it's good to have a little bit of soul lift, because now we play the Dong Defender, and as you just saw, I'm using Desolate Dive every time he jumps underground. So he does it now, and he does it in the start of the fight. So Desolate Dive, bam, and then you pull him out of the Burrow Strike thingy. And it just saves you some time. It's all about saving time in these early bosses. Yeah, and this guy, the Soul Warrior, again, relatively speaking, very easy boss. They are in the beginnings, very heavily telegraphed attacks, and it's just about dodge his attacks and just hit him with a nail, easy peasy. You can do the shadow. Oh my god, what's it called? The shadow dash thingy to actually go through his fireballs, and that way you don't take damage because the shadow dash makes you invulnerable. This guy, the Bloodwing Maulik, it's whenever he is doing his thing, normally you just hit him, and when he's throwing a lot of fireballs at once like this, you just have to get on the other side of him. So you can dash through him, or you can jump over him and dash over him. Either way is fine. Nailmaster Uro is not very difficult until he he gets his brother involved, and then you have to fight two of them at once. It becomes a little bit harder. It's if you're very good at the game, you can just hit both of them like a lot with desolate dives. I mean, I'm attempting to do it a little bit here, but it's I don't think it's a good idea, especially if you like my level, not completely awesome at the game, because as you will see, I do tank a lot of damage trying to hit both of them at the same time. The easiest way by far to beat this boss is just to stay at the end of the fight and just fight one of them at the time. If you just stay near the edge, like all the way to the left, for example, then you only have to fight one of them at once. So luckily I have fought this boss a lot, so I don't feel like I was close to dying. I mean I have one mask left, but I'm very comfortable with this boss, having fought him so much. Obviously, when you're done with the boss, you have to bow your head in respect for the Mato brothers. And then this is where the first place where you can heal, and this is where, I mean, it's a big advantage if you have the blue masks unlocked, so you get like extra 5 blue masks in all of these fights. It's a huge advantage. I just didn't do it because I just couldn't be bothered unlocking all these eight lesser pantheons, unlocking them, spending time on that. I would rather try to complete this challenge, and then thought, alright, it's just an extra piece of challenge. I enjoy the challenge, so I just didn't unlock it. The Crystal Guardian, very easy boss. You never jump. You literally just wait until hit him, and when he does his laser attack, you just dash through him with your shadow dash. Soulmaster. So this guy, you will see that I'm just going all out, killing him as fast as possible. When I get to the upgraded version, I'm gonna play it very differently, but this guy is just kill him as fast as possible. Just spend all my soul, just hit him, face tank a little bit if I have to. And in this phase, you have to jump up, slash up, and dash to the side. And that's like a rhythm, you do that over and over. It's actually easier than it sounds. So it's just a little bit of rhythm you have to get in. Like, I'm failing it a little bit here, but if you do this, then he's gonna have low HP already when you get to this phase, and then you don't have to do it all over again, because then you have time enough to actually kill him in this phase. So definitely worth taking the time to just learn that little trick there. It's not that hard, to be honest. And these guys, I like, if I have a lot of masks like this, I just get on top of them, poke down. You can also fight one of them and then switch to the other one, because as you can see, once you kill one of them, the other one is gonna get really mad. But it's just a matter of preference. What I will say is that this guy, it can be quite annoying, so I would take the time to just go to the corner and heal sometimes, because it's otherwise you could actually die to this boss. Now the Mantis Lords. I'm using my Nailmaster's Glory a lot here, but I mean you don't have to. But this is one of maybe the first boss where I would recommend you just practice it a little bit in the area I showed you in the start of the video, because like the first time I faced this boss I actually died. And the reason I died is I was just so surprised that all three of them came at once at me, instead of the two of them that I was used to from the main storyline. But here all three of them attack you at the same time, and you have to just learn the rhythm. When they come from the top, you just sidestep a little bit and then you can hit him. And when they come from the side, you have to jump and just pogo down. And by far that's the easiest way to deal with them. As you can see, when I'm taking a little bit of damage, when you take damage you get some invincibility frames. And I like to use those invincibility frames to actually charge up my Desolate Dive. So this way I get even more invincibility frames from the Desolate Dive. It gives you some invincibility frames when you hit the ground as well. But it's something I usually do. And obviously after this fight you get to heal, I believe. Also bow your head in respect. Yeah, okay, well I didn't heal, but obviously if you want to, you can use this this place to heal. And once again, if you have the blue masks unlocked with the door I showed you in the beginning, you can get a lot of extra blue masks, and it's gonna be a lot easier. This boss is the only boss I don't want to die to, because it would just be too embarrassing. If I die to any of the other bosses I'm fine, but this stupid ball I don't want to die to. The Fluke Man, you just have to get on top of him and poke down. I mean, I think I was not really concentrated, because obviously this is terrible. You don't really have to you don't have to take so much damage when you are killing this boss. It's very easy. Just get on top of him, poke down, and that's it. The Broken Vessel, I think the first version here I just go full aggro, do as much damage to him as possible. When I face the upgraded version I'm gonna pay a little more respect to him, play a little more passive, but once again, all of the first bosses, you just want to get through them as fast as possible so you can continue your run, because if you want to complete this challenge you're probably gonna do it a lot of times. So getting through the early bosses is as fast as possible is very key. This guy, I wait until he's close to the ground like this, and then I just stand underneath him and just slash up and do it over and over. Maybe an V-Shriek to boot, but it's really the easiest way to deal with him. You can also pogo down on top of him, but I think my approach is easier. Paintmaster Shear, like this is when it's the yellow pencil, it's that attack. When it's the purple, it's this attack. So and that's the blue attack. You can always see on his pencil which attack he's about to do, which is kind of cool. So I mean, it's just practice a little bit. It's very easy to figure out which attack he's gonna do. And then you bow your head in respect for Paintmaster Shear, and then you move on. And the bee. A lot of the bosses I legitimately just fight very aggressively because I want to get through as easy as possible. But this boss in particular, I also fight very aggressively, but that's more because that's just the easiest way to fight him. Just keep hitting him, hit him, hit him, hit him. Even tank him a little bit if you want to, but he dies very easily if you just keep hitting him. And then we get to the Elder Who. This guy is, well, I would say pretty easy, but he can be annoying because it's hard to hit him. So you can use a bit of Nailmaster's Glory if you want to, but like I'm doing. Worth noting, when all these hammers are going down and you try to evade them, you don't actually have to evade them. You could just time it so you shadow dash. I failed it a little bit there, but you could just time your shadow dash so you just evade the damage no matter if you're in the right spot or not, if that makes sense. Because the shadows dash gives you a couple of invisibility frames, so if you time it correctly, you can just avoid all of the damage basically. The Collector. This guy is the only boss that doesn't give you soul when you hit him, which completely makes sense because obviously this is a guy who kidnapped all of the grubs, so this guy has no soul. But no, seriously though, the most important thing in this fight is just kill off all the small minions as he spawns them, because the only way this boss becomes a problem is if you allow the smaller creatures to be alive, and then it gets annoying because there are too many targets. Just even, I would even fireball some of the small creatures to get them away as soon as possible. So the Tamer. The girl is like whatever, but her horse is kind of annoying. So what you want to do is not what I did there. You don't want to get stuck in the corner. But yeah, I mean, when he jumps, he's gonna get on top of you. So you can just bait out where he's gonna jump, and then afterwards it's gonna land where you were. So you just dash away, and then you can hit him. And fun fact, the girl, you don't even have to kill the girl. The girl is gonna die if her horse dies, because then she doesn't want to live anymore. So that makes sense. And now we get to the Nightmare. Grim Troopy. It's not the Nightmare, excuse me. It's just a normal version of this one. So in this phase, when he becomes all puffed up like a gobble, then he's gonna be immune to your nail, but you can still hit him with spells. And it's worth noting that the group song is very good for this purpose. Like, I'm doing it again here. I'm doing so much damage to him just by tanking some fireballs. Well, you have to tank if you do this. And then you just EV shrieks a couple of times. And then it's very easy to deal with. And this, I fought this Nightmare Grim so many times that I really don't have any trouble with this fight. Here you can see I don't have that much mask or soul left, so I'm not gonna go for the trick, but I am gonna use Nailmaster's Glory like a lot. Nailmaster's Glory in this fight makes it very quick to kill him, I think. Then you can heal up a little bit without the blue masks, or with the blue masks if you unlocked it. And I was not happy with my shift key, I guess, so I clicked it like a maniac, and then this happened. Lol. Alright, the Watcher Knight. Once again, just like with the Grim Troopy, they will become immune to your nail when they are doing the rolling form, but they're not immune to your spells. So you can just throw fireballs at them. Even like this, I hit him twice with one fireball hits him twice, or maybe sometimes even 3 times. When they are like rolling away from you, you can do this. But otherwise, it's just about hitting both. It's always gonna be 2 knights at once hitting you. So if they're stacked together, you can hit them with spells. Otherwise, it's just, they're pretty easy to read. But the only thing that makes this fight a little bit difficult is obviously there are 2 of them at the same time, so you just have to get used to that, practice that a little bit. When they are about to spawn, it's also possible, I think I did it a few times this fight, it's also possible to hit them with your Dream Nail. They are invulnerable to damage when they spawn, but you can still hit them with your Dream Nail and get some more soul. So that's a little bit of useful information. Now, the Umu fight. This guy is normally very easy, but if I remember correctly, I fucked up so hard this fight, and it became hard all of a sudden. Well, the thing about Umu is he is immune to physical attacks, well, he's actually immune to everything except for when you hit him with his own little gobbles, like I'm attempting to do and failing completely. Like this was a good move, except it just collided with his shriek, and for some reason, I think it's a bug, he doesn't get damaged when he's doing the shriek thing. So yeah, anyway, this file is terrible, but what you want to do is what I attempted to do there: get to the side of the map, wait for the little squids to come up from the asset, and then when you align the squids with Umu, then you can just fireball the squid. I'm doing that here, at least I'm attempting. It hit him on the way back, but that's fine. So this is the only way that you can put in Umu into this form where he can actually take damage. Also worth noting, you have to use your Dream Nail a lot in this fight, because that's the only way you can get soul. I mean, you can hit the squids, but by far the easiest way is to just get soul by Dream Nailing Umu in the start of the fight, for example, like I was doing. Alright, Ducks. Not much to say about this fight. I think I am using Dream Master's Glory a little bit, but you know, you don't have to. I'm playing very sloppily, I see, but there's a lot of opportunities to heal in this fight. Basically, every time after he dives, like this is a good time to heal when stuff is dropping from the ground, from the ceiling. Or every time he's diving, you can heal. I mean, if he dives again, then you get to heal once, and then you get damaged immediately. That's like whatever. But here, it's a perfect time to heal, because even if the asset from the top is about to hit you, then you have plenty of time to just stop your healing and just evade the lava coming from the top. So, Sly. This guy gave me a little bit of trouble when I did some of the other Pantheons, but once again, you just have to practice him a little bit, and once you practice him, you figure out how to deal with him. So when he does this thing, you can actually poke on top of him and still damage him, even though he does his blade thingy. But he's always gonna attack you twice and then do an uppercut or something. And then when he does the, like this, twice and then uppercut. And when he does the uppercut, you want to get on the other side of him, so you can hit him like a lot when he falls down again. 1, 2, 3. And obviously when he charges up his nail like that, it's gonna do double damage, 2 masks of damage. So don't tank it like an idiot, like I just did there. The second phase. Don't run around like I did in the beginning. Don't run around and just panic. The only thing you have to do in this phase is just stand still, wait for him to almost hit you with the nail. He's always gonna position himself in a way that you can just sidestep it just a little bit. And once you sidestep it, then you're ready to do some counter damage afterwards. It's pretty easy once you understand the way he's attacking you. Second Haunted fight. Every time she gets put into her, catches her breath, I think I said this already, then she will always jump afterwards. Like here. Okay, now she's dead. Whatever. But every time she is damaged and gets put into hit recovery, then she's always gonna jump afterwards. So it's a good opportunity to just jump up and hit her while she's in the air afterwards. In Rage Guardian, just like the first one, never jump. Just, okay, I'm bad at this, but just basically just dash through him when he's doing the laser attack, and that's it. Otherwise, just hit him. So this guy is the upgraded version, the Lost Kin, and it's a bit more difficult. I tend to, when he's, I mean, there's not much to say. You can't really dash away from him that often, because he's so fast when he's dashing. But it's one of the bosses that can give you a little bit of a hard time if you haven't practiced him that much. When he's doing his dive thingy, then I like this. Then I like to do my desolate dive, because then I'm just always sure it's gonna hit him for maximum damage when I do that. So here is the first hard boss, in my opinion. No eyes. Once again, I'm not a very good Hollow Knight player when it comes to platforming, so this is very difficult. So I enjoy having the Nailmaster's Glory exactly for this purpose, that it's a bit easier to hit it for 2.5 damage, like when I have this charm equipped. But the longer this fight takes, the more these ghosts are gonna come, and it's just gonna be more and more difficult. And these ghosts are not fun. Like they normally, when you take damage like this and you come back like exactly this, normally you are invincible for a couple of frames, but that's just not the case with the ghosts. They don't give a shit. They just attack you immediately. So you want to kill her before the entire area gets swamped with these ghosts. There are more and more of them. So I had more trouble with this fight than I usually have, but you know, platforming is not what I'm good at. This guy is honestly, he's pretty easy, but he will deal 2 masks of damage every time he hits you, so you still have to respect him. Like here, I fucked up the cooldown for my shadow dash, so I had to tank one of the shadow dashes. That was a mistake, but basically every time he comes at you, you just dash away, hit him, and then he's telegraphing his attacks a lot of time in advance, and then you dash away, hit him. Pretty straightforward. And we have the White Defender, the dream version of the Dung Defender. Unlike the Dung Defender though, this attack you can dash away from pretty easily, by the way. But when he goes underground like this, it's not possible to actually get him out of it by using the Desolate Dive. It's only on the first boss that's possible. This time you just have to wait, I think. At least to the best of my knowledge, you have to wait until he's just done with his dive shenanigans. But this boss gives you a lot of time to heal, so I think I'm just gonna do this now. Heal twice, get hits once, it's fine. And I think you could like do a lot of damage here in this phase, but as Desolate Diving, IV Shrieking, but you know, just hitting him with your nail like this also does the trick. Yep, and we go next boss. My god, I regret running out of water before I started recording this. It's not good. Anyway, Soul Tyrant. This guy, like I said earlier, this is the upgraded version of the Soul Master. And this guy, I play very defensively. I mean, obviously it's also harder to hit him because he's just so fucking fast and he teleports all the time. Very annoying. But the thing is that after this fight is the most difficult boss of the entire run, in my opinion, Markarth. Which is why that my goal is not to beat this guy as fast as possible, but this time my goal is actually to beat him and come out of the fight with as much soul as possible. So this is why I play very defensively. I'm not I think I'm still gonna tank. Yeah, I'm still gonna tank some damage, like unintentionally, but at least I'm trying to not tank too much damage or use too much soul, so I can face Markarth with as much soul as possible, because this boss is goddamn annoying. The second phase here, you can heal before it starts, but then you want, just like the first one, just this one is a lot faster. Jump up, hit up, and dash to the side, and do this rinse repeat. because then he's almost dead when you go to this phase, and then it's easily to just kill him off. So I go to face Markarth with not as much soul as I wanted, but almost full soul, so that's fine. I always start this fight by using my Nailmaster's Glory to hit him with a charged up sword hit. Always in the start of the fight. And then basically when he does this phase, I get on top of him and dash down, poke on top of him. And then basically my entire game plan is just hit him with the Nailmaster's Glory until he does his second standing still moment, and then I can just hit him with spells. So, oh, this is a good opportunity. I tank some damage, but I get a lot of hits in. So the spells you want to use is either a V-Shriek like I attempted there, or just when he's standing still like this, you can get a lot of double hits with your fireball, so that's also very useful. So this is a pretty good Markarth fight. Once again, I'm really not very good at platforming, so I was very happy with this fight. So Great Prince Zoti, this is the boss I was talking about at the start of the video. This boss you don't have to fight if you don't save him. You only have to fight this boss if you save him. So just don't save Zoti. But I think I played this game like 150 hours. 50 hours is the Nightmare Grim True Pay, which is coming up. And 50 hours is this guy. And then the last 50 hours is probably this trying to complete this Pantheon here. So I played this boss a lot, like a crazy amount of time. So obviously I'm very comfortable with this boss. The big easiest, oh that's annoying, but what you want to do is when he spawns these things, you fireball all of them at once. Just don't take any chances. And when he comes down, oh, in this phase you always want to poke on top of him and then dash away so you don't get hit. But when he comes down from the ceiling, you always want to just dash away in the very last second, because then he's never hitting you. And the rest of the boss is basically like I'm doing there. And the rest of the boss is basically just evade the big shockwaves and hit him once you come down from evading the big shockwaves. That's pretty much all there is to it. It's a lot harder than it looks, this boss, I would say. But I have the advantage of having played him a stupid amount of times. Failed Champion. The dream version of the False Knight. And this guy is very easy once you learn this little trick. Not this trick. You already know that you can dream nail the armor. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the next trick you can do in this fight. You can basically just spend all your soul to kill him, and then you do this. Just pogo on top of the armor. Not the head, the armor. Because what that does, it just keeps him on the ground, and that gives you so much time to dream nail him or heal or do whatever you want. And that's a very useful trick to know, because it means that first of all, the boss is going to be very easy, and second of all, you just ensure that you will always go into the next boss with maximum soul. And that's going to help you a lot, because the next boss coming up is the Nightmare Grim. Once again, I spent like 50 hours on the storyline fighting the Nightmare Grim before the Pantheon came out. So this fight I'm also very comfortable with, but it is objectively one of the hardest bosses in the game. So this guy's attacks, unlike the first one, it's just so fast that it's a lot on like intuition. When he does the birds, they work a bit differently, so you want to get between the birds like this, and then it's a good opportunity to hit him a couple of times. But the most important thing for me is my positioning. I always, in this phase, by the way, I don't want to risk it by doing the V-Shrieks on top of him and tanking damage. But what I was saying is, my positioning in this fight is always 1/3 of the platform. You don't want to be exactly in the middle, because then you don't know where he's coming from. You don't want to be near the edge, because that can get you in a lot of trouble. So I'm always like 1/3 of the platform in either side. That's the only thing I think about when I play this boss. It makes it a lot easier for me. I think I use a little bit of Nailmaster's Glory, but this guy is just so fast that I barely have time to charge it up. This is a good place to heal, by the way, when the spikes are coming up from the floor. I think 1/4 of the time you get to heal once, and then he hits you immediately, and obviously it's going to lose you one mask, but more often than not, like 80% of the time, you get to heal one mask for free if you do it immediately. Once again, I'm not taking any chances on this phase. This phase means that there's only like 50% left. I think he does this 3 times. He does it when he has 75% left, when he has 50% left, and when he has 25% left. In this, you can, yeah, when he's doing the Pillars of Doom, you can either like do a Nailmaster's Glory hit or something, or you can also do, I think I do it here, no I did, but you can also do like an AV Shriek, or just hit him normally like this. It all works. So I believe now is the time to change up the charms, and this is where it gets a little bit funky. So obviously Quick Slash is no longer necessary, because I mean it's kind of good, but you don't really need it, because the last boss is not really about hitting him hard. Both the Radiance and the other guy, it's more about evading the stuff and hitting whenever there's room for it. So the Quick Slash is not really needed. Unbreakable Strength is still very good. Long Nail is the same, is whatever, you don't need it. But what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take off a lot of my charms, and then I'm gonna put all Shape of Un and Deep Focus. And this is gonna seem very weird to a lot of Hollow Knight players. Deep Focus makes it so you heal 2 masks instead of 1 mask, but the downside is, well, first of all it costs 4 notches, and then it also the charge time becomes a lot worse. So a lot of people is pairing it with Quick Focus, but instead of Quick Focus, because you run out of notches, then I use Shape of Un instead. And I'm gonna explain this principle when we get to the Radiance. But for now we have this guy, the Pure Vessel, and I think it's objectively one of the hardest bosses in the game, but I think a lot of people won't think that it's harder than like Radiance or Nightmare Grim or Soti. But for me, this is the hardest boss in the game, and the whole reason is I barely practiced him. I almost didn't practice him at all. I spent a lot of time, like I already said, on Soti and Nightmare Grim. And also I spent a lot of time in the Radiance, but this guy, I barely spent any time practicing against this guy. So I think it makes sense that that's why I have some issues with him. This is a good time to heal if you, yeah, I think I healed like twice and got hit once, so that's still good. So now, because of my charm, I heal for twice as much, and then he damages for 2 masks as well. And yeah, but when it comes to just strategy on this boss, I mean, jump as little as possible, and obviously I should be better at evading the dive thingy. I only jump when he's summoning all these swords, because they are easier to dodge in the air because of how they're shaped. But basically all other attacks, I just want to stay on the ground and just dodge it with jump through him, except for this one. This one, he makes this void thing come out of his hands, like it's a sign that he's almost dead, and when he does it, you can't obviously avoid it by shadow dashing, so you have to do this. You have to get on top of him, but that's the only attack. Otherwise, I think it's, for me at least, it works a lot better if I'm just on the ground. So here I think I knew that he was almost dead, so I just went for it, but basically I should have jumped above him. And now we get to the Radiance. And this is where the Shape of Un is gonna have its day. So this boss is all about dodging. Play very defensively. Hitting him is not hard. He's always like this, so you can just, you don't have to spend any concentration on how to hit him, because it's very easy to hit him. So it's all about dodging. When he does the swords, or this one, this laser attack, I always go to where the laser or the sword used to be, because obviously they're never spawning in the same place twice, so that's the easy way to dodge that one. These swords here, are coming from left to right, are a bit more difficult. I think the speed master and it's really helping in this regard. These fireballs is the worst one. You just have to go from left to right, from right to left, and just dodge and evade them. And the big laser is, the only way you can actually dodge the big laser is if your void thing, what's it called? Void dash, shadow dash, that thing. You have to have your shadow dash cooldown ready for when he's spawning the big laser. You can hear it very clearly when he's gonna spawn it. The sounds is a very good indication of which attack is about to be spawned. So here I heal once and then I get damaged immediately. I mean, that's fine, because I heal for 2 masks, I get damaged for 2 masks, whatever. Everything does 2 masks except for the spikes on the floor, or if you just go down to the, you fall off the platform, it's also only 1 mask. And the spikes on the floor is 1 mask, but everything else is 2 masks. This phase is very easy with Shape of Un. It's a good time to heal if you need it. But obviously I was already healthy, so I knew that I could just heal twice afterwards and I would still be at full HP. Which is what you want when you start this phase. This is very fortunate for me. The guy is just standing on top of me and it gives me a lot of opportunities to just slash him upwards. And that's basically what you want. You want to look for these openings where he's standing on top of you, and then you can do a lot of damage, like this. So much damage. I could even have evaded the laser, but even if I didn't evade it, would still be worth it for all the damage I could do to him. So Shape of Un, I don't think we get to see it here, but you can actually dodge the swords from left to right using Shape of Un. But yeah, this phase was a lot quicker than usual, because he was kind enough to stand on top of me a lot. So this phase is a pain in the ass. The lasers will get better and better at tracking you the further up the stairs you get. But even if it hits you, this is where, actually it's like 90% of the reason I use Shape of Un is basically because of exactly this. So now I've taken some damage, I want to be as healthy as possible for the last phase. So I can use Shape of Un to actually evade the lasers while healing. It's very, very useful. In the last phase here, you have to dodge the fireballs. It's a pain in the ass, but rotating motions. And remember, once you poke, you have to go left to right, right to left, and pogo downwards. I'm very happy I beat it, lol. And every time you pogo, you refresh the cooldown of double jump, so that's very useful. I'm really happy. I spent so much time trying to beat this challenge. And apparently I'm an idiot because I don't realize that I just have to click the button to move it along. Oh my god. Yeah. So this is why I feel Shape of One combined with Deep Focus and Group Song is just so good for the Radiance. The group song and the Deep Focus makes it so you always have soul enough to heal. So the only thing you have to do is figure out when is it okay to heal. So this is crazy. There's like an entirely different ending for when you complete this challenge, and only like 1% of Hollow Knight players get to complete this challenge. So it's crazy they attached an entirely different ending to this. So yeah, that's how I would beat the Pantheon, or rather that's how I did beat the Pantheon a little while ago. So I'm very hyped for Silk Song that's coming up. So that concludes the part where I talk about Hollow Knight. I hope maybe it helped you or will help you to complete this. Maybe not, maybe nobody's gonna watch this, who knows. But anyway, as promised, now I'm gonna talk a little bit about what's going on with me and my YouTube channel and where the fuck I've been for the last 4 years. So basically, first of all, what I should have done is I should have just made a video like explaining, alright, I'm gonna take a break, maybe retire from YouTubing. I kind of felt bad for a long time that I didn't really give, especially my subscribers, the heads up that I was gonna leave for a long time. But the reason I basically, I'm still basically retired. I just upload this now just because, you know, it's kind of special that, at least for me, that I was able to beat this, and I thought it would make sense to make a guide because I'm using some weird charms and whatnot. But I'm just gonna, like, once in a while maybe upload a video on YouTube. But basically I'm still retired. The reason being a couple of different reasons. Right now it's really a pain in the ass to even make content because my microphone is broke, so and I don't have the software to edit anymore and stuff like this. So it's kind of a hassle to even be a YouTuber for me right now. But the reason I left back then is 2 reasons in particular. First of all, I left when patch 7 of Dota came out, and patch 7 just killed jungling completely. I mean, you can still jungle some heroes, but it was in patch 7 they introduced the fact that jungle creeps doesn't spawn until 1 minute instead of 30 seconds and then 1 minute. So it really killed jungling. So that was one reason. And the second reason is probably even a bigger deal. I was struggling a lot in my life at that time, like 3-4 years ago when I basically stopped YouTubing. My father demanded that I could, if I wanted to be a YouTuber, then I have to make a Danish salary from YouTubing. So I was under a lot of pressure to actually make money from YouTubing, and that's always like a killer. You can't be a YouTuber to make a salary. You have to do it for the fun of it. As soon as it gets about money, then it's no good. It's not good. Especially a Danish salary, that's a crazy amount of money because everything in Denmark is so expensive. We have high taxes and whatnot. So basically I had to do a lot of money to actually make this into my main occupation, my main work. So it was just, yeah, that was very unrealistic. And the second reason for why I basically stopped YouTubing is I was going through a really hard time in my life. I was going through depression, and I was feeling so guilty that I wasn't good enough when it comes to this YouTubing. It feels like this channel could have been so much more if I was better at YouTubing, better at making content, and a bit more exposed. It feels like there's so much good things going on for Dota jungling. I think when right now it's like 10,000 people left, and a lot of these people are talking about subscribers, 10,000 subscribers left. I think when I peaked it was like 25,000 subscribers. So it's not like a crazy amount, but it was still enough that I felt that I was having a good time. It was a nice adventure, and I wanna sincerely thank each and every one of you who has been subscribed to my channel. I'm not sure how many is gonna get this, but it really made this adventure so much more when I got a lot of support from you guys, a lot of nice comments and all of that jazz. And I mean, even with a fairly small channel, I think it still was a successful project. It started like, let's see, 7 years ago. Holy shit. I believe this and the Darkseer video was the first ones. So 7 years ago I came up with this jungling idea to jungle with a Cottle. I can show you real quick. To jungle with a Cottle and get a mechanism really quickly. This was way before Aghanim Scepter was even a thing on Cottle. It's at 7 years ago. This is, oh yeah, 7, probably correct. 8 maybe. And the funny thing is, nobody watched this video. I think some people, after a year or something, some people actually watched it, and then it became a thing on Reddit, and then another year went by, and then like another year. So 2 years after, Awi 2000 picked it up and actually started using this Cottle jungle technique. Like I believe one of the TIs it was used by Awi 2000 in particular. So that was kind of cool. That was like a big pat on the back for me. I remember some of the casters gave me they were like praising Awi, and one of the casters like no, it was this guy Boneless Dota came up with the Cottle jungle. And then after that I think a lot of good things. Obviously the Darkseer video went completely crazy. Also one of the first videos about the unlimited stacking. The funny thing is that I don't think anybody knows this, but this video, I had the actual video ready for almost a year. Like, but the thing is, this is my very first video, so I had no idea how to edit. So I'm not actually editing this. A friend of mine who went off to make, what's his name? God damn it. He went off to make this Dota Poop YouTube channel afterwards, which was a lot more successful than my channel actually. What's his name? But he made this video for me, and he was this guy Hustler. Yeah. So this guy Hustler, he went off to make this Dota Poop channel, which is also very nice content. He got a lot more successful on YouTube than me. But this guy, he because I couldn't edit myself, so I had my friend, this Hustler guy, edit this video for me, and it took him almost a year to complete it. So once this video was finally out at 2013, it was almost like the end of the patch. And then the video was out, and then it went like 2 weeks, and then they immediately fixed it, so you couldn't stack like this anymore. So it was like an entire year of me just, come on, when is the video done? I want to get it to YouTube. So after this video, I just decided that I should probably learn how to edit videos myself. So that's what I did afterwards. Anyway, but that's basically a really long way of just saying that the reason for me quitting YouTube basically was because of personal issues, and I felt a lot of guilt. Like, was going through depression, and I felt really guilty that I couldn't make more of this YouTube adventure. So I just had to like pull the plug and not even look at the channel, not even make a video saying I'm gonna take a break or anything. I just had to pull the plug, get completely away from it, and focus on other parts of my life, which is what I did. And I'm a lot better now than I was 3 years ago on a personal level. So anyway, this video is gonna be a mess now. It was basically gonna be a Hollow Knight video, and then I ended up talking about YouTube and stuff. But anyway, I should have done this 4 years ago, so there you go. This is why I am basically still retired, and sometimes maybe I'm gonna come back for a little bit of YouTubing, but it's not gonna be very often. Just to make a YouTube video without proper editing software and without a proper microphone is just a mess. So it's not even worth it. So that's where I'm at. So thanks everyone for supporting me, and thanks for watching this. And yeah, looking forward to Silk Zone. Cheers.